Hari Om Tat Sat Yogis, and welcome to the throat chakra in the chakra series. And as you can see, these colors are about turquoise, blues. We're moving from the greens and the pinks of the heart and moving to the turquoises and blues of the throat. Your throat chakra is about having a voice, finding your voice, speaking your truth, saying things out loud, saying things inside your head, saying things to people, putting boundaries in place, being who you are and being able to communicate that. So come to a comfortable seated position if you have not yet. And let's get into our bodies. Let's get into the throat. And when we understand how we're working with the throat, the voice, the breath, so see how we're going to work backwards down now. The throat, voice is breath. Breath comes through the respiratory system, your trees. And as the breath comes out of your mouth, the vocal cords vibrate. Everything vibrates to create sound. That breath and how we are controlling that breath is through your diaphragm, the abdominal muscles. So as you know, or as you may not know, when we create voice, we are using breath to do that. So when we're using that breath, we need to use the muscles in the lower part of your torso to help you lengthen and strengthen the voice. Abdominals and pelvic floor, moving further down into the sacral and into the base, into your root chakra. So no chakra is ever working on its own. They're all working together. So as we now begin to breathe from the ground up, as we come into our time, allow your eyes to gently close if you haven't yet, and bring your awareness to your breath. Perhaps sighing out, perhaps staying still. And then begin to lengthen and deepen the breath as you become aware of the present moment. Become aware of your base, your sit bones connecting down to the ground. And draw that prana up from Gaia, from the earth. Your roots. Begin to lengthen and deepen the breath and then lengthen the spine, noticing how the breath and the alignment actually work together. We're making space between the vertebrae, space in the lungs. And with your next breath, bring the hands to prayer at the heart center and begin to rub the palms together. And then signifying your full commitment to the next 20 or so minutes with a round of Oms, 3 Oms. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. Drawing the belly to the spine as you exhale all that breath out of the mouth. Bring the hands down onto the knees. Drop the chin down towards the chest. Perhaps the eyes stay closed. And begin to move through some very gentle cat and cow-like motions. You may still be seated on a prop. That's totally fine. Perhaps you were seated on the ground. Also fine. If you're in Vajrasana, you can do this in Vajrasana, or you can come to join us in Sukhasana. Vajrasana being the pose where you're on your haunches. Just allowing that prana, that rhythm to begin to shift, and we're moving towards the throat. So feeling as you come into that cow-like position. Lifting the chest, opening the heart, lifting the chin, opening the throat, expanding. And last one, lift the chest, open the heart, staying in this moment, holding onto the knees Inhale as you exhale, taking a strong sigh out, a bit of a lion's breath. And round into the back. And then let's come up a little bit to the Manipura, to the base, or to your abdominals at least. And if you are seated on a block, this is going to be a little bit more challenging, or a pile of books. You can do this seated on the ground as well. Let's come to catch a little boat. So we're warming into those abdominals. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Whether you're on the block or on the ground, this is level 1. Rooted down into your sit bones, draw those elbows tight into the waist. Use the knees to help you draw them towards the chest and then lengthen into the spine. This is level 1. If you're going to go further, you're maybe coming to feet parallel to the ground. I like to squeeze my knees together and feel my inner thighs activate. Soften shoulders. We want to make sure that the shoulders are and the neck are as relaxed as possible, because from a creative perspective, we only really, many people create when they are safe, when they feel safe. When you're in your parasympathetic nervous system, not your sympathetic nervous system. So not in your fight or flight mode. If you're going further than this, you're obviously extending your legs out, softening the shoulders away from the ears. Feel those quadriceps come online. Make the legs active. Either point them or flex them. They're not going to hold themselves up there. Draw belly to spine. You can do as many of these and as many variations of these as you like. Maybe you come down, take a little breath. Try and do 3 of whatever it is that you're doing. So we're firing up the digestive system, the Manipura chakra. Remember, that chakra is about kind of your identity and your action, making choices. And choosing to use your voice is a very active participation in your identity. Who am I and how am I going to communicate that? Last balance here, maybe you're resting already. Fold off of your prop. Come on over to hands and knees. And begin to work through some very beautiful cat and cow. Moving through these, really present. Trying to feel every single vertebra rippling through the spine with that movement of the tailbone tucking and untucking. Lift the chest, open the heart. And often to communicate your truth well, we need to have an open heart. So from here, moving into your melting heart. Now I want this to, ideally, I want you to lengthen your throat onto the floor and rest on your chin. Your gaze is towards the top of the mat. If this is too much for you, then you come down onto the forehead. In which case your chin is still tucked into your chest and you are almost in a Jalana Bandha, a chin lock. Advanced practitioners, you are very welcome here to engage all 3 bandhas, drawing the pelvic floor up and back, draw the belly to the spine, a little bit of an Uddiyana, and then soften the chin into the chest, taking Jalana Bandha. Or your throat is extended along the floor, opening. And last breath. Walk your hands back. Take your hands a little bit wider, tuck your toes, push up to your first downward facing dog of the day. Take some movement. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. So the sense related to the throat chakra is that of hearing, which I think is beautiful because it's not just about communicating or speaking. Speaking is not the only part of communication. Hearing is the other part of communication. Inhale as you exhale. Come down onto the knees. Walk your hands forward, come back to that melting heart. 2 breaths in the melting heart. Inhale, exhale. Keep your forearms exactly where they are. Shift your weight forward. Your elbows will need to come up slightly. Drop the hips down, coming down into Sphinx. You may adjust your arms or your forearms slightly. And then again, just keeping the chin parallel to the ground. Just take a glance over to the left, over to the right. Slide the chin across the chest, come back to center. And then really soften the chin to the chest. Let the head just hang down. As we take one or two longer holds, listen. What can you hear? Moving into the neck, dropping the chin to the chest, and then raising the head back up to parallel, your chin parallel to the ground. Taking a few of these motions where you're just dropping the chin to the chest and then lifting the head back. Look over to the left, over to the right. One more time each way. Slide the chin across the chest, come back to center. Inhale, exhale, come flat down onto your tummy. We're not hanging out here too long. Either take the forearm cheat and slide the arms further back slightly. Tuck the toes onto the knees, push back. Or knees first, or full reverse plank up to your downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. Look towards hands, walk, step or jump in between hands. Exhale, fold forward. Soften that chin into the chest. Feel the back of the neck broadening and opening. Nod the head yes, shake the head no. Relax that jaw. And then really start to work into your facial muscles. So scrunch up your face. The chin is still tucked into the chest. The head is hanging heavy down to the ground. Scrunch up your face. Inhale as you exhale. Stick the tongue outside out like a lion's breath. You're still hanging down. Inhale as you exhale. Bend into the knees and gently rolling up. Oh, coming up to stand. Shake it out. Shake it out into the wrists. Shake it out into the hips. We just take a step or two, coming even onto the tops of the toes. It's quite nice. So, shaking out here, any responsibility that you might feel for other people, and then calling on the ability to communicate some boundaries. Come to the top of your mat. Inhale the arms up, scoop all that prana around you up, palms to touch. Take a gentle back bend, push into the hips, look up to the thumbs, open the throat. Inhale, stretching up. Exhale, swan dive down, flat back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend into the knees, step your right leg back. Take your left leg back. Find yourself in a plank. Inhale, exhale, hold your plank for as long as you can manage. If at any time you need to drop down, you go ahead and do that. Otherwise, hold your plank for a moment. Inhale, exhale. We need a strong core to be able to withstand the repercussions of telling the truth. Telling the truth is not for sissies, my dears. Release your plank, knees, chest, chin. Take the vinyasa of your choice here. If you're ready to go to something a little more intense in the back, by all means go for it. A higher cobra, maybe you want to stick into a lower cobra. What are your capabilities and your needs today? Everybody meeting in the dog. Inhale, exhale. Come to toes, lift heels, ribs to thighs. Release your left heel down, take your right heel up. We haven't opened tremendously into the hips, so just be cautious here. Take a little roll into the ankle. Inhale as you exhale, swing it through. Need to face plank, hold it. Plant it. Drop your back heel, open up, warrior two. Scoop that left arm past your face. Land a little deeper, land into your warrior. Draw the pelvic floor up and back. Let's try and get a little bit lower here. Get really, really low into that hip, into the knee. Make sure your front knee is directly over your front ankle, however. Take the arms around the back, clasp the fingers, lift the chest, open the heart. Open the throat, lean back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Draw the outer edge of your back foot down to the ground. Make that leg stable. Inhale. As you exhale, fold forward. You may need to walk your back foot in slightly. And drop into a humbled warrior. Take your right shoulder to the inside of your right knee. Maybe you pull those knuckles down behind your head. And the reason we need to humble ourselves is because when we tell the truth, we can sound arrogant. So come into your humility, humble your heart, get down low. And then tell the truth with kindness and compassion. Bend into the elbows, release them. Just pop them down on either side of that front foot and swivel yourself back into a little lunge. Inhale, bring the knee up to the nose if you can, step it back to plank. And take a vinyasa of your choice. Knees, chest, chin. Up dog cobra. Don't rush it, take your time. Whatever you're doing in a back bend, your quads are engaged, make sure those kneecaps are lifted. We're all back in the dog. Take a moment, take a breath. Inhale, exhale, and then I want you to blow through your lips like this. Taking a couple of those, really filling the lungs in, dispelling that air, expelling that air at least, through the lips. Inhale. You can play with the register. Make sure your lips are a little moist. You may need to lick them. You're using your diaphragm to do that. Come to toes, lift heels, ribs to thighs. Left leg up, right heel down, open up into that hip, point the toes, flex the foot, give it a little rotation. Inhale, as you exhale, swing it through, knee to face plank. Hold it, plant it, and warrior two. Scoop that right arm past your face, cartwheel yourself up and open, or windmill. Coming into that two on the other side, pelvic floor up and back. Try to get really, really low. Relax those. The tops of the arms, shoulders want to be relaxed. But you still want to feel your triceps and your biceps engaged. So play a little with the wrists and the palms. Lunge. And then let's humble that warrior. Reach the hands around, lift the chest, open the heart. Really imagine you're trying to get your knuckles on the ground. And then humble it. You may find that you need to walk your back foot in very slightly here. I sometimes have what I call leg spread. It's very sexy. Really let the crown hang down to the ground. Pull those knuckles down behind your head. And last breath. Release those elbows, hands down on either side, swivel to the lunge. Inhale, exhale, step back to plank. Maybe there's a knee to nose. Take your vinyasa. Oh, just loving me a cobra. Everybody meeting up in the last dog. Come on down onto the knees. Take your feet out to one side. Come sit on your bum. Extend your legs out. Shift the flesh from beneath the sit bones. Inhale the arms up, soften the shoulders. Lift out of the waist, out of the hips, fold forward. Remember, it's less important here to touch your toes and more important to keep the spine aligned. Draw the elbows in tight. Place your hands flat on the floor. Even if you can touch your toes, you can do this. We can do this together. Pull your chest forward in between your upper arms, feeling the sit bones sharpen and almost slide backwards. And this action here is what you want to get you deeper into your forward fold. Even kind of keep your gaze lifted until the very last moment, then soften the chin in towards the chest. And then just walk yourself out. Take a little tabletop. Fingers pointing backwards or forwards, doesn't matter. You just want your heels close enough so that when you lift up, you feel supported and you can feel your ankles below your knees. It's really nice for the triceps. Lift the hips, give the bum a little squeeze. And then keep your tailbone tucked and lower your bottom down to the ground. Oh, you should come onto the lower back, which should feel really nice. Release the arms down one at a time. Rolling down onto your back and coming to prepare for bridge. Bridge is a lovely throat chakra stimulator. Soften the chin into the chest. Make sure the whole of the spine is aligned down to the ground. Your heels are in line with your hips. Your hands are supporting you. Inhale, exhale to prepare. Drawing belly to spine. And then on your next breath, tucking the tailbone and rolling up to that bridge. You are the bridge. You are the bridge between all kinds of things. As you hold your bridge now, think about where in your life you feel like a bridge. And then think about whether it's a good bridge or if it's a bridge that can be burnt. What you want to be is the bridge between humanity and compassion, humanity and the light. Coming out when you've had enough. Upper back, middle back, lower back. Just let everything rest. Walk your feet out to the edges of the mat, drop the knees into center, in towards each other. Just let everything soften. Breath or two. And then with your next breath, up into the chest, give them a squeeze. And then we're going to take the legs up to the ceiling and we're going to go to plow. Now, remember plow, most important safety thing is to keep your chin tucked into your chest. You have the option of going up to that shoulder stand if you would like, if you're very comfortable with your shoulder stand, or a Viparit Karani, the preparation. If shoulder stand is not appealing to you in any way, or perhaps you're menstruating, then come to lie in Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, or you can take the legs up the wall. You don't have to be right on the wall. At this point, I could just turn around and pop my legs on the wall, so nothing too intense. If you are joining us in the plow, take the legs up to the ceiling, roll over. Taking the plow for a moment, soften the chin into the chest. Get those elbows closer together, get right up onto the shoulders. If you know variations of plow here that you'd like to take, clasping the fingers out behind you, go ahead and do that. Maybe you're going up to that shoulder stand. Your alignment in your shoulder stand is Tadasana. You want to imagine that your feet are flat on the ceiling and that your ankles, your knees, and your hips and your shoulders are beautifully stacked. We're not going to be here too long. It's a short class. When you've had enough of that, coming down with control, maybe one leg at a time, maybe both. Maybe even taking a little Kanapita, dropping the knees on either side of the head. Taking the hands onto the backs of the thighs. This is a deeply meditative pose. And when we're working up towards the higher chakras, we're starting to come to more meditative spaces. And that's part of that sense of hearing, is at this point we want to tune in. We want to tune into the divine. We tune into the universe. We want to tune into God, ourselves, each other, so that we're hearing well, because part of communication is hearing, listening. Listening and talking, they go hand in hand. We need them both. Bring your feet down to the ground. If you are in the diamond, or Supta Baddha Konasana at least, then flatten the feet down to the ground. And let's come to some very gentle windshield wipers. Extend the arms out to the side, dropping the knees from side to side, just taking the gaze in the opposite direction of where the knees are going. Going both ways. A few times. Or holding it a little bit on either side, I mean both sides, just... And then taking whatever last thing it is that you like to do before coming to Shavasana. Maybe it's a happy baby. Maybe you want to lift your head up and then drop your ear down to the ground, going side to side. Taking whatever last thing it is and then coming to Shavasana. It's a short class, it's a short Shavasana, but never to be skipped. Shavasana is, in my opinion, one of the main reasons to do yoga. Just having a few minutes to yourself. Take a good deep breath in as you settle in. Let the feet flop out. Soften the shoulders. Turn the palms up to receive. And come back to the breath. Just imagining for the next few moments that as you breathe, you're breathing in through the soles of the feet. Just receiving that grounding, that energy. Perhaps you begin to feel the soles of the feet tingling or vibrating. And bring your awareness a little further up towards the pelvis. And as you inhale now, imagine that the breath is coming through the pubic bone. You all have a pubic bone. Feel that breath coming in through the reproductive organs. And maybe you feel a little energy, movement, tingling, vibrating sensation, moving the breath further up to the heart. Imagining that you're breathing in through your chest, through the sternum, through the ribs, feeling the entire lungs expand with love and compassion and breath, feeling that warmth spreading through the shoulders up to the throat. Inhale as you exhale, sigh it out through the mouth. Keep your awareness on that warm space, that warm energy in the throat between your chin and your chest, that space. Keep it there for a moment as you begin to touch each fingertip to the thumbs. Give the toes a little wiggle. Keep that awareness on the throat. Inhale the arms up above the head. Take a good stretch. Squeeze the bum, point the toes. Bring the knees into the chest. Give them some squeeze. Keep your awareness on the throat. Inhale, exhale. Rock yourself up to seated, rocking along the length of the spine. 1 or 2 rocks. Come up to seated. Bring the hands to prayer at the heart center. And the bija, the seed mantra for this chakra, for the throat chakra, is hum. And we'll close off with 3 hums. Inhale, exhale. Feel that breath coming from your belly now, from your lungs, not your throat. It comes from a place much, much deeper than that. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Excuse me. Inhale. Hariom Tat Sat. Namaste. May we all live and speak from our truth today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking part in this medicine. If you really enjoy our classes, please feel free to share one with someone. People really need this medicine. If it's helping you, please share it. Thank you, my friends.